2020 was a long and hard year, but we made it. Here's a recap of what happened this year for me. January was an anxious month as I prepared to go back to work and send Hudson to daycare at just 3.5 months. First, we took a trip to Yosemite as a last hurrah to our parental leave.
There's Shane setting up the camera.
Hey Hudson, what do you think of Yosemite so far? Why are you secretly smiling to yourself? Oh my goodness. Look at these thighs. Yes, we made it. Some mama
Some little Toby's
and
here.
two babies. Oh my goodness.
By this time, Hudson and I mastered the art of breastfeeding, and we could do it anywhere. Here we do it on the Mirror Lake Trail. During this trip, Henry got some great news about a new job. Here we are celebrating at the bar. While it was challenging and tough with a newborn in tow, Yosemite was a fun and memorable end to our maternity and paternity leave, and with wonderful memories, we went back home. I returned to work on Monday, January 13th, and the pump and work grind began. Hudson started daycare, and he seemed to enjoy it a lot.
Oh yeah.
Working and being separated from my little one for so many hours each day made being together that much sweeter. I counted down every hour until the time I could pick him back up, hold him in my arms, and just be with him. With much excitement and anticipation, we attended Jamie and Jeremy's baby shower for baby Jude. And then, later in the month, Hudson turned 4 months old.
Aggie.
To close out the busy month of January, Hudson celebrated his first Chinese New Year, the year of the rat.
New Year. Gong hei fat choy. Yeah.
Hudson, what is that? Is that your Lacey? Yeah? Wow, you got so many this year. It's your first year. Around the beginning of February, Hudson started Solid Foods, and we quickly discovered how food-driven and motivated he was. Although the purees didn't last very long, he loved learning how to use a spoon, and later on we started doing baby-led weaning.
Wow.
Hudson got to come to Mommy's work office, and he came here for a couple days while we were waiting to go to his doctor's appointments. It was really fun, and everyone really loved their new coworker. Boss just woke up from his nap. Hudson? Hello. And I can't get any work done now. We started attending physical therapy for Hudson's plagiocephaly, which was a flat spot on his head. Breastfeeding continued to be more enjoyable, and we found new spots to do it at. Valentine's Day this year was so special, and Hudson was everyone's favorite Valentine, for a good reason. We decided it was time for Hudson's big break and decided to take studio shots for headshots. Just kidding, we just thought he was so adorable and really wanted to take advantage before he could say no. Have you ever seen headshots this funny though? These were the pictures taken for the imaging for his helmet for the plagiocephaly. These are my favorite pictures of the entire year. I think the best part is the specialist's fingers sinking into his belly. When he finally got fitted for his helmet, he was not a happy camper, but he soon got used to it and looked more adorable than ever. Here he is continuing his physical therapy with his helmet on. Happy as can be. We had a leap day this year, and we spent the day at the beach, taking these adorable pictures, and it was actually a lot colder than it looks, but he was still so happy. On March 1st, we finally got to meet Jude, Hudson's best friend, about 2 weeks after he was born.
Yeah, is that good? Yeah.
Is that good?
Is that good? Oh yeah. Get it, honey.
Oh, yeah, go. Ooh. Little slobber nose, okay.
On Santa Claus's head? Did you ask him what he wanted?
Whoa, what was that?
That was Hudson's face planting into your scalp.
Oh, man.
Ask Santa what you want for Christmas. Whisper it in his ear. Leave some drool in his ear.
No. Oh, shoot.
Oh.
That's... Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Gentle, Hudson. Gentle. Hudson, what's going on with those legs?
Don't talk to me, Mama. I'm dancing.
Dancing, baby. Yeah. Baby. Yeah.
We celebrated my mother-in-law's birthday with a relaxing girls' day at the spa. Looking back, I can't believe we were able to do this, and looking at these family pictures of us dining out, it's just so surreal that this all happened right before the pandemic. The week after the pandemic hit and lockdown began, we all scurried home, and staying at home had a whole new other meaning.
Okay. Okay. Is it my turn to tell you about my day? Are you enjoying your bath time? Yeah. Yeah. Is it nice? He just fell asleep, wedged between the cushions. Good morning. What's so funny?
Daycares and schools were closed down by this point, so Hudson was with us every day together, working, cooking, and basically just existing all at home.
So you're gonna
Staying
do it next,
at
okay,
home.
Hudson?
The new opportunity to work from home was pretty exciting and very different. We had 5 of us working from home at this point. By the time 4 o'clock rolled
Hey,
around
Henry.
every day, we had to take our afternoon
Oh my
walk with the
gosh,
kids,
what is that?
Hudson and Toby, and this kept us sane
that a
all
bear? A
throughout
very
quarantine. We
large
still do
baby
it every
cub?
single day and loved our
Hudson.
afternoon walks. Since everything was closed, we started going outside more and discovering new places and new nature experiences. This is in Mount Laguna,
poop?
when we went to visit the snow. When we were home, Hudson continued exploring new foods, and he loved trying all
What do you
kinds
think
of
of
new
banana?
things. Here he is enjoying his first banana.
Very yummy, huh? Very, very yummy. What do you think of it?
Is he choking on it?
No, he's just gagging to clear his throat. Hudson, yucky! Oh my god!
One form of therapy that really grounded me during quarantine was baking. Here, you can see I made cookies. I made so many different recipes of chocolate chip cookies. Working from home, full-time with an infant with no childcare, came with its fair share of challenges, but also with many fun and adorable memories too.
Are you working from home, Hudson? Mommy is working from home. Daddy is working from home and Hudson is working from home.
We started hanging out on Zoom a lot,
Hudson,
and Hudson had his own Zoom hangout with his daycare buddies.
Look at Hudson, he's so happy.
April was the month that I started on my bread journey, and I baked lots and lots of different kinds of bread. They were very yummy, and it was a good way to distract myself from the heaviness of the pandemic and the mental drain it was causing by this point.
오늘도 슬쩍슬쩍 바라만 보고 있네.
This is probably one of the best things that I made this entire quarantine. It's my pecan sticky buns. They're cinnamon rolls upside down with pecan caramel on top.
이번엔 다른 것 같아. 정말 다른 것 같아. 진지해요. 놀리면 안 돼요. 두근거리는 가슴 때문에.
One of the saddest things about quarantine and lockdown was not being able to celebrate birthdays and holidays together, like Isley's first birthday and Easter, and also later on Mother's Day and many more. But we did start getting used to our happy hours online through Zoom with our friends and family.
It was good to see you guys. See you next time. Bye. Oh my gosh, so cute.
And of course, Hudson continued to entertain us on the daily with giving us plentiful laughs, giggles, smiles, and all kinds of joy.
Oh my goodness, you got
오늘은 말해볼 거야.
Completely oblivious to the pandemic going on around him, Hudson remained a very happy and bubbly baby as he socialized with his quarantine buddies, his aunts and grandparents, and his parents.
진지해요. 사랑에 빠진
We started doing activities together at home, and it was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, good job. Good job, Hudson. Good job. Yeah.
Jude finally made it over to our house, and Hudson was so happy to see him.
Be gentle, Hudson. Be gentle.
When the weekends were over, he was back to work, and right behind my workstation was Hudson playing and making a mess. But we did try to take advantage of the work from home situation whenever we could.
Just sitting here waiting for 4:30 to come around when my staff goes home or stops working, including this one. Yeah.
Mid to late April was when things started getting really difficult for me mentally with the stay-at-home order, the work from home, be a full-time mom from home, this whole situation, and that's when I turned to baking again. It always made me feel a lot better and helped me to kind of ease my mind and take my mind off of the situation. It was a great stress reliever and so much fun, and delicious too. Here I made cardamom buns. Then we had a day where Henry had to go up to Irvine to pick something up from work, and Hudson and I happily joined him for the car ride. And we also stopped by some food places to pick up treats for our family and friends, which we delivered to each of their doorsteps. It was so much fun and the most food I've ever bought, I think.
Of noodle soup. Wow. Wow. Our haul from Porto's. This stack of cheese rolls, stack of guava cheese. These are potato balls, fruit tarts.
I also added Henry's personal quarantine barber to my resume and cut his hair for the first time. I was so nervous, and so was he, but I think it turned out pretty well for my first time. Hudson also finished his helmet program for his plagiocephaly, and so to honor that, we took this photo shoot in our backyard with a cardboard airplane that I made.
It's Maverick and Goose.
The silliest photo shoot ever.
Sometimes we fail, and this was my worst baking fail of all. I was supposed to make a cake for Jamie's birthday, and it was supposed to be a sponge cake topped with flan, and this was anything but that. We were so surprised and shocked and laughing so hard when I tried to lift the pan and just basically a soup came out. I was too busy to bake a new cake because I was busy with work, but luckily Henry helped me bake this beautiful 3-layer chocolate cake for Jamie's birthday. Thanks, Henry. Later in the month, Hudson started teething. He started sprouting his first 2 teeth on his bottom, and they were so cute and little. The weather started warming up, and we enjoyed time in our backyard and walking in the sunshine. Then we celebrated my very first Mother's Day with Hudson. It was so cute and fun, even though it was just the 3 of us. Well, actually Toby, so 4 of us. But it was really nice and simple. Hudson started crawling, and we found out his greatest motivation was food. I never attempted to rebake that flan cake again, but I did continue baking my cookies, breads, and started cooking new pastas and perfected steak as well.
One, two, three, go.
Oh my god. He's gonna throw up on your face.
Like he doesn't know how to balance. Yeah. You ready?
When Hudson's teething started getting really bad, I started making breast milk pops for him, and he enjoyed these all summer long.
Good on your teeth?
Say what we mean, say it from the heart.
When COVID cases started going down, we finally decided to visit my family up in LA. This is my aunt and uncle playing with Hudson and just loving on him so hard.
어쩔 거야 저 자리.
Working from home with a baby still was hard, but we found new ways to entertain him throughout the day.
Hudson discovered Post-its today. And they're his new favorite snack, huh? Are they your new favorite snack? Watch him. Oh boy. Very sweet. A very special boy. But not sure if he's the brightest, you know? Very sweet and very special though. Oh no, he just bit off a part and now I have to fish it out of his mouth. Let's see where it went. Oh, ow, don't hurt me. Oh, yep, there it goes. There it is. Yep. That's both trying to eat their snack. Oh my goodness, these two. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. 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 Oh.
In June, our friends Michelle and Isley came to visit, and we hadn't seen Isley in so long, it was crazy to see how much she'd grown, and she was walking now. We also decided to increase our outdoor activities and got Hudson a helmet and a bike seat for Henry's bike. It was really adorable.
I'm way too clumsy.
Hi, Hudson. Don't crash into me. Hi. Wow.
On June 15th, my Halmoni passed away. She was one of my most favorite people in the world. She died of complications from dementia, which she had suffered for years. Henry and I organized an RV road trip all the way up to San Francisco to pick up my sister and bring her down to LA for the funeral. On the way up, we stopped by some amazing places and saw some of our closest friends. While I was grappling with the death of my beloved grandmother, the trip turned out to be unforgettable and healing for my soul.
Hello. Oh my goodness. What a journey. We are in Morro Bay. And all the RV parks were completely full. And the city doesn't allow overnight parking on the streets. So we were like frantically searching. We even had a bit of an argument. But everything is good now because we have parked at, I think it's called Spencer's Supermarket. And it's actually like right in front of the ocean. I know you can't see right now, but that is an ocean.
That's a fence.
Okay, just kidding.
Your angle is.
Sorry, this is the.
That's a bush.
That's a bush, but beyond there is supposed to be an ocean. Okay. And all is good because we are now enjoying Domino's Pizza, which is delicious. By the way, these Parmesan bites, these are so good. I might even like these better than the pizza itself. Like some Parmesan bites don't have enough Parmesan or garlic, but these are so good and crispy and fluffy. And then we have pepperoni, mushroom, tomato, and garlic pizza. So excited. Yay! So successful second night actually. And we're having some beers. Mine's a Deschutes Hazy, and Henry's is a Strand Brewing Co. Pale Ale. So,
Cheers.
cheers.
It's breakfast tacos for Father's Day. Yeah. With coffee and a Toby. And Hudson is eating his dad's Fitbit, which is disgusting, and watching Sparkabilities on YouTube. Everyone's happy. Wow, that looks delicious. We got some bacon, hash brown, scrambled eggs, and then we're gonna top it off with some salsa. Yum.
This is the market we stayed at, Spencer's, and if you're ever in Morro Bay, stop by for their amazing almond brittle. Life on the road was really comfortable in our big RV. This was the bed area I made Hudson, and we padded the floors with more pillows. Everyone had their own space, Toby, Hudson, Mom, and Dad, so it was a really comfy trip. Our first stop was in Carmel by the Sea to visit our friend Chris, and we stayed at his parents' house. Then we went up to Santa Cruz and we stopped by Henry Cowell Redwoods State Park, and it was beautiful.
Wow. Oh, I lost them. Just kidding, they're here.
Hudson, what do you think? Wow. Whoa.
Still want to let go of my finger. Driving this motorcycle.
Another highlight of the trip was staying at our friend Kayla's parents' house in Santa Cruz. Addie's birthday was the next month in July, so we were able to give her birthday gifts early. And Hudson got to hang out with her, eat with her, play with her, and it was just so much fun.
Is that the yummiest thing you've ever had? Look at these guys. Look at Addie.
We finally made it to San Francisco and picked up my sister, who was so excited to see Hudson. And then we had to return our RV. For 4th of July, we spent it at our Aunt Heidi's pool. It was Hudson's first time swimming, and he had such a great time.
Yeah. Hudson's first pool day.
Jude also came by the next day and swam in the kiddie pool with Hudson, which was also very fun. Sometimes when you have a craving, you just have to satisfy it. In this case, we were really craving a crab boil. My grandpa's birthday came the month after my grandmother passed. This was his first birthday without her, and her presence was sorely missed. We started going back to the beach every week since it was summer now and the weather was warm. This is Ocean Beach Dog Beach, which we frequented pretty much weekly throughout the summer. We also found a new secret picnic spot that we started frequenting weekly as well.
What?
Then Hudson had his first major fever. One morning he woke up with a 104-degree fever that didn't go down for 4 days.
Whoa. He just... Oh!
August was a special month where I started my YouTube channel. My proudest accomplishment that month was redecorating Hudson's play area.
Okay.
Sadly, that month we had to attend another funeral for Jamie's father, Papa J. Rest in peace. But at the end of the month, we celebrated Fizman's birthday, which was definitely much more fun. At the beginning of September, Henry and I celebrated our 3-year wedding anniversary.
It's a video.
Throughout September, we frequented the beach many times and Hudson became more and more comfortable with the water. He absolutely loved it and would crawl right into the ocean right when the waves were coming.
Oh my god, he doesn't know what this is yet.
Go, buddy.
Oh, there he goes. What do you think, Toby?
Oh my god.
Bye.
What do you think? What do you think, buddy?
On September 19th, Hudson turned 1 year old. We could not believe how quickly our little baby turned into a boy.
Oh my goodness! Is it your birthday? Is it your birthday tomorrow? Wow, look at you, big boy. Good morning. It's Hudson's birthday, and I'm about to serve him his breakfast, which is seaweed soup. That's Henry right there, but he's probably not ready. But yeah, on your birthday in Korean tradition, you're supposed to have seaweed soup. I think it symbolizes like health and a long life. So Hudson, I hope that you are healthy and live a very long life. I love you. Hudson's first bowl of miyeokguk. It's a birthday tradition to have miyeokguk for your birthday. And he could not wait to eat, huh, Hudson? You are so excited for breakfast? Oh, that's not how you used a spoon. Oh, Toby. It's cool. I put a cube of ice. How do you like it? Yummy?
It's like that butt cake I had yesterday is better.
Daddy's so funny, huh? He's such a jokester. Yummy. Very good, huh?
For Hudson's first birthday, we set up a traditional Korean birthday called atol, and he wore his hanbok, and we did a few different American and Korean traditions for his birthday.
Say happy birthday to you.
What's it?
Hudson.
You help heaven blow the candle.
One,
Ooh.
2, 3.
Go.
Ah, nice. I hope you made a good wish.
Ooh, yeah, I lit up. Oh.
What do you think? Here.
He's like, what?
Is that what they did? Oh, that's what they did. I thought that was toy. Ah.
Oh my god. He's trying to put his mouth to it. Is that yummy?
Mama.
Oh, go in with it. Okay.
Yeah, Hudson, Daddy, Mommy want a pizza.
Since most of our family and friends could not be there due to COVID, we set up a Zoom party online, and it was a lot of chaos but also lots of fun. Hudson loved being the center of attention. We continued Hudson's birthday throughout the weekend and celebrated at the park with his closest friends and our closest friends. It was so much fun seeing all the babies together playing.
Ball pit to Hudson's picnic birthday. All the babies. Are you having fun? Oh my goodness. Hi, Jude. Hi, Isley.
My birthday was later that month, and my coworkers surprised me with a surprise picnic, and my husband did as well.
Trying to build me a really cute back porch is hard, huh? Wow. You're so strong. Look at you. Wow. Wow, Henry. How are you feeling, Henry? What's all over your shirt? Huh?
Pain, sorrow.
Pain and sorrow? It'll be worth it though, right?
You're lucky Padres won you.
One morning, Hudson woke up with a swollen eye from a mosquito bite, and he had bites all over his arms, and he looked super sad but also cute. And we had a teleconference visit with his pediatrician, who assured us everything would be okay, but Hudson looked so cute being such a big boy on the teleconference. Although October was mostly hot, we wanted to get into the fall spirit by taking the kids to the pumpkin patch. I think we all had a great time, especially Hudson and Toby. Hudson discovered one of his most favorite foods, which is corn on the cob, and it was so funny watching him eat them with about 6.5 teeth.
This is Hudson being a potato. And putting corn in his mouth. What is it?
What's in here, Hudson?
You want some candy?
Ooh.
Oh my goodness! What is that?
We loved messing with Hudson with our trick-or-treating basket because we knew we weren't going to be able to use it for Halloween this year.
Get your plum!
I put some simple decorations on our front porch for Halloween, including some googly-eyed pumpkins, and Henry caught this cap through our doorbell.
Balls on the pumpkin so you can see. No, don't pick the pumpkin up. It's not. Drop it and break it. You gonna shut the gate?
And I picked up yet another hobby in October, which was hand knitting these chunky blankets. This one I made for my sister for her birthday.
Next 5 years, you're a single man, but if this feels for you like it does for me, then maybe you should let this be. You know I feel.
Hey, Henry.
Hi.
Hi, Hudson. Hi.
Mid-October, we took a very much needed trip up to Paso Robles to see the Field of Lights and also to drink lots of good wine. It was a wonderful, magical time together with family and some of our most special friends. Sadly, we had another funeral to attend, which was our friend Michael's father's funeral. He had passed away a little bit earlier on in the year, but we had to wait for a spot to open up at the Memorial Veterans Cemetery.
Clear to try. For us, there is not a single goodbye. For us, there is not a cloud in the sky. For us, heaven's gates are open to climb. We wrote that on June 15th, 1985. So I'm thankful that he knew so many people and he had so many loved ones come today to honor him. So we will miss him a lot and we love him.
Halloween was very different this year with no party, no trick-or-treating, but we still made the most of it, and Henry planned our family costume, which was Pokemon themed, of course. I was Ash, Henry was Brock, Hudson was Snorlax, and Toby was Pikachu. November came and Hudson learned how to share.
Sharing is caring. Hudson, too cute, man.
He's like, he even goes, ah.
Too cute, Hudson.
Election Day was November 3rd, and it was one of the most anticipated days of the year. We sat watching the news, our social media, constantly waiting for the news on who won.
What is it?
I guess Hudson sensed the anxiety and tension too.
What? What's wrong?
When Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were announced as president and vice president-elect, we celebrated.
What you doing with that tool, Hudson? You gonna help Daddy build the fire pit?
At this stage till now, Hudson became very interested in helping with everything. Here he is helping Henry build the fire pit. This is the winter edition of our backyard hangouts. One beautiful crisp winter morning, we took a drive up to Mount Laguna and went hiking to the Little Laguna Lake.
Were you hungry? Hi, Tobes. Tired? We made it to the Little Laguna Lake. It's very little.
We got started on Christmas decorating really early this year, even way before Thanksgiving. There wasn't a lot to celebrate in 2020, so we wanted to celebrate Christmas really early and took a trip to a Christmas tree farm with our friends. It was really fun and very memorable.
Oh my goodness.
We got Hudson his first desk, and he wanted to help Daddy build it so bad, but it turned out really well and he loves it.
Wow，好多嘢，寫好多啦。
I went back to baking for the first time in a while for Thanksgiving and made cinnamon rolls with vanilla bean cream cheese frosting and sweet potato pecan cheesecake. Thanksgiving this year was spent with just our quarantine buddies in our backyard. It was small, but it was still nice.
Why do you look like that? You look weird. Wow, that's so pretty.
The final month of 2020, December, was a challenging month, a whirlwind filled with many emotions, lack of motivation, and just the anticipation of the holidays coming. But we did start off the month with a trip to Yosemite that was really fun and super memorable. We started the year here and we ended the year here.
Soon. And here we are on our way down, just one step at a time, sure-footed steps. And he's taking it very, very carefully, slowly. It's a long way down.
This trip was also spontaneously very productive, where we took our Christmas card photos, which we weren't even sure we were going to send out, but we eventually did. Much of December revolved around our advent calendars, which were a really fun surprise every day. Henry got a Back to the Future one.
Putting everything together on set. Oh my gosh. So there are Marty and Jenny sitting together. Here's the clock tower.
I also really enjoyed putting Hudson in all kinds of festive headdresses throughout the month. But when Hudson met Santa Claus, he did not have a good reaction. Or, depending on how you look at it, it was a great reaction.
Okay.
Since we couldn't go to the mall to take a picture with Santa Claus showed up in our backyard. Hudson was really scared at first, but warmed up slightly to him. An early Christmas present was his little potty training toilet, which is super adorable, but he hasn't gotten used to it yet. And I saved our most important Christmas decoration for the last week of Christmas, which are our Mickey Marching Band Christmas bells.
Hudson's first time with the fireplace. Hudson, what do you think?
We're finally sending out our Christmas cards Sunday night. We'll see if they get there on time. If not, I'm sorry. Good luck, guys. I hope you make it there safe.
Do you like that one? Okay, do you want to put it in your basket? Okay, let's put it in your basket. Wow, good job. Good job. I think there's no more lines. Okay, I'm sorry. There's no more lines, but you got a lot. Wow. Whoa, what's that? A Reese's in there? Where'd you get that from?
We also discovered that Hudson's two most favorite activities are riding around on his trike and reading lots of books. This Christmas morning, Hudson and I both woke up with a mild cold, so we had to postpone our family celebration until later, but we still had fun opening gifts together. Henry and I both wrapped up a few pieces of fruit that Hudson likes, and it was really fun to just watch him open them and be surprised at what he found and just so overjoyed by the most simple gift.
What is it, Hudson?
It reminded us what Christmas is truly about. Not the gifts, not the presents, not the parties or the food. It's just about being together with the people that you love the most.
He's like, yeah? I can have this?
Yay! Merry Christmas, Hudson! Yay!
He's like, Mommy, open that for me.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Let me go get a knife and a spoon, okay? Let me open it for you.
He's like, best Christmas ever.
And when we did get to celebrate with our family, Hudson was the most excited of us all.
Yay! Daddy, look happier. Oh, he loves it! He loves it! So excited. Do you love it? Do you love it? Oh! Open now? Uh-oh! Be careful. Oh, okay. You want this? Here you go. Oh, you want me?
One special memory in December was our snow day up in Julian, where we got to meet up with Isley, Michelle, and Larry. It was super fun and cute, even though it was short-lived. On the final day of December and New Year's Eve, we celebrated Henry's birthday and stayed up to count down to New Year's Day. It was very anticlimactic, and we weren't necessarily looking forward to the new year, but very grateful to have made it through a particularly difficult year. We reflected on all that we went through in 2020 and what we came out with. Most importantly, we came out of it all together and grateful for each other. Thank you very much for watching my recap. I hope 2021 is better to you. Hang in there.